I've been shooting my bow now for a year, and I tell you what, I've been bitten and bitten hard. I love it. While there's a lot that I have left to learn, so much, and I'm learning every day, I wanted to pass on some things that I wish I would have known when I started. Now this video is intended for those who are, brand new to archery or thinking about getting into archery. Those of you guys who've been, or gals, who have been doing archery for a long time, this is going to be so elementary. It's meant to be elementary. Honestly, I thought archery was you get an arrow, you put it in, you pull back, boom, you fire, done. A lot more complicated than that. First thing I want to start with is the arrow. Again, I'm going to try and keep this high level. My intention is get some of the subject matter out there for you guys to think about, and then start diving in more detail as you do research. But arrow, so there's a spine number that you have to get that coincides with your draw weight on your bow. So in this case, I'm using a 340 spine. Now what I did at first, a lot of people will do this, is I got some pretty cheap arrows to play with. As I wanted to upgrade, I knew that I needed to keep my spine the same. So 340 spine, I bought some new arrows, 340 spine, right? And as I'm shooting, these two arrows are grouping much differently. Now, I thought that was just me, and of course a lot of it was me, but in addition to spine, you need to consider arrow weight. So arrow spine is how much the arrow flexes. Actually what they do is they have a standard length, they have a standard weight, they hang in the middle, and then they pull down, and anyway, that's how you get your spine. But just because one arrow is a 340 spine and another arrow is a 340 spine doesn't necessarily mean they weigh the same. That's just the rigidness of the spine. So also check how much they weigh. One arrow was lighter, one arrow was heavier. That's why they were hitting different. Another aspect about archery that I wish I would have understood better when I got into it, the bow that my wife first got me, I thought I could change the draw weight very easily, and that way I could shoot, I could twist a bolt or two, do whatever you do to change the draw weight, and then have my son shoot as well. Not quite that easy, because draw weight, or I guess what I want to get at, is the bow is set up for the individual. Now, this is coming from a guy who shot a lot of pistols, a lot of rifles, a lot of shotguns. When you go out with your buddies, it's always, hey, do you want to shoot this? Hey, do you want to shoot that? Your friend says, here, shoot this, shoot that. And you just hand the gun off. There's not a lot of differences in shooting from gun to gun, generally speaking, but when you get into archery, it's a whole world of difference. Everything on here is set up specifically for the shooter. And what I'm talking about is, one, I've already hit on it, the draw weight. So obviously I'm going to be able to pull more than my sons. The way your peep sits, how high it sits. There's so many different measurements. Your arrows have to be a certain length depending on your draw length. Your draw length depends on basically your wingspan. There's a couple of different ways I've seen people do it, but open your arms like this, you measure from fingertip to fingertip, divide by 2.5. That is your draw length. So to change that, to change the draw weight, it was too much to go back and forth between me and my sons. I found that out quite early. So fast forward a year, and now what? Well, me, my oldest, and my second oldest, we've all got our own bows that are specifically set up for us. No one ever taught me really about anchor points. Anchor points are going to be, well, just what they sound like. They're going to be specific places from your hand, the string, how it meets your face, that you do the same way every single time. And what this will do is will help ensure consistency on how your arrows are flying. Now, it's not perfect because there's a lot of form that goes into this, which I absolutely love, you guys. In fact, I used to study martial arts quite heavily, and one of the things that I liked, or I like about archery, to me, there's a lot of similarity between martial arts and archery. There's a lot, the discipline, the form, it's kind of fun that way. But, so what I'm talking about here real quick, anchor points. For example, so a lot of people will take their knuckle, they'll put it on a certain spot in their face. Some people do it a little bit different, but you also take the string, put it on the end of your nose, come down here to the corner of your mouth. Anyway, there's these anchor points that, so when you draw back, if you hit those anchor points every time, again, it ensures that consistency with your bow. So I come in, get my anchor point. If you do that, you'll shoot better. Not an exhaustive list, and again, I'm still learning so much to learn about this, but it has been an extremely fun process. So I hope that helps a lot of you guys, gals out there. I've got some comments lately that people are really interested in this. So I just want to share my love of archery with you guys, because I'll tell you what, it has been a wonderful thing to add to my life. It's a lot cheaper than therapy, I'll tell you that. So hope you enjoyed the video. I appreciate you guys watching. We'll see you later.